Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw a dolphin. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the head. An easy way to draw a circle is to first make a couple of small marks to indicate the circle's height, and then on the sides make a couple more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then just connect the small marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. You don't have to draw a perfect circle, but if you're having trouble drawing one, just trace the outer edge of a coin, a bottle cap, or anything else with a circular edge. To the right, draw another circle as a guide for the front part of the body. Make this circle a bit bigger. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also, pause the video as you follow along to draw at your own pace. On the bottom right side, draw another circle as a guide for the back portion of the body. Make this circle roughly the same size as the head. Place this circle slightly farther apart from the first circles so that the body isn't too short. Now draw a couple of intersecting lines across the head circle for guidelines. These lines should be similar to a big plus sign. Now draw a long diagonal line across the head for another construction guide. This line will help you position the mouth section or beak. Now make a small mark for the front part of the beak. Connect the small mark to the head using sloping lines to finish the guide for the beak. This guide should be similar to an arc on its side. Connect the three circles using curved lines to finish the guide for the neck and torso. The shape of the body should be curved. At the bottom, draw two more long sloping lines to finish the guide for the back portion of the body. These two lines should come together at the bottom to form a pointy tip. The shape should be similar to a long triangle. Now draw the guide for the tail by sketching a horizontal line. Draw a couple of curved lines to connect the tail to the body. Now draw a triangular shape on top of the body as a guide for the dorsal fin. Make the line on the right straight and the line on the left curved. Draw a similar shape at the bottom as a guide for the pectoral flipper. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, lightly sketch a small circle for the eye. Place the eye below the horizontal construction guide and to the right of the vertical guide. As you darken the shape, make the sides pointier for the corners of the eye. Draw a couple of curved lines around the eye for the creases on the skin. Inside the eye, off to the side, draw a tiny circle for a highlight. In the middle of the eye, draw a small circle and shade it in for the pupil. Add a short line to the left for another crease on the skin. Use the arc-like shape on the left as a guide to draw the beak. Draw a short curved line near the top edge for the top part of the beak. At the bottom, curve the line to the right to create the mouth. Extend this line far to the right so that it's close to the eye. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the line when you get the shape right. At the bottom, draw another curved line for the lower section of the beak. Follow the path of the guide as you draw this line. Draw a horizontal line at the top for the section where the beak meets the head. Now follow the basic path of the initial circle to draw the shape of the head. Make the top of the head less curved than the initial circle. Draw a curved horizontal line at the bottom for the lower edge of the head. At the top, draw a thin oval for the blowhole. If you've made it this far, please do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe buttons. It really helps out the channel. Darken the triangular guide under the body for the pectoral flipper. Make the shape of the flipper more curved than the guide. Make the tip of the flipper slightly longer and less pointy. Draw a short line at the top for the base of the flipper. Darken the triangular shape on top of the body for the dorsal fin. Make this shape more curved than the guide too. Darken the shapes at the bottom to create the tail. Just like before, make these shapes more curved than the guides too. The bottom of this shape should curve up near the middle. Now darken the outer edges of the initial guides to create the rest of the body. Don't overlap the pectoral flipper at the bottom as you darken the lines. Make the underside of the back portion of the body wavier. Under the head, draw a small triangular shape for the visible section of the flipper that's on the other side of the body. Now erase the initial guidelines. You don't have to erase all of the guidelines, but if you'd like, you can use a thin click eraser like this one to help you erase between narrow areas. Redraw any of the final lines that you may have accidentally erased. Now shade your drawing. Use different values to create shadows and highlights across the body. Leave a few thin sections blank so that the white of the paper comes through and creates bright highlights. Shade lightly at first and gradually build up to darker values. For light values, push down very lightly on your pencil, then push down harder for darker values. The dolphin is leaping out of the water, so at the bottom, draw a small section using value to create the surface of the water. Draw a gradient that goes from light at the top to darker at the bottom. As you shade, use lines that have a horizontal orientation. Using a darker value, add a few small triangular shapes to create small waves and ripples across the surface of the water. Using a thin eraser, erase some of the value to create dripping water on the dolphin's tail and a few highlights on the surface of the water. Erase smaller sections across the bottom to create drops of water. Darken the outer edges of the dripping water to emphasize the shapes. For even darker values, you can use pencils with softer grade lead. Grades like 2B and 4B work great. Continue to add darker shadows with value and bright highlights with an eraser across the entire drawing. If you'd like, you can add a border around your drawing. Add more value at the bottom to extend the surface of the water to the edges of the border. Keep shading until you're happy with the result. And that's it for the dolphin. Remember to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com for more tutorials. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying my books on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. Let me know in the comments what other animals you want to see me draw. Don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.